And in this video, I want to look at the term mindfuckery to help you process what's happening if you're experiencing overwhelm or unfamiliar emotions that feel like they possess you, so that you're able to recognize what's happening and start to take back some control over your life whilst you learn the tools to heal on a deeper level. Hello, my name's Elizabeth Goddard, author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. On this channel, I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing both emotionally and physically from the abuser. Everything that I discuss in this video, you'll find the links in the description box below. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you. Mindfuckery is the collision of cognitive dissonance and gaslighting. And from the name, I'm sure that you can understand this isn't something pleasant to experience. Using some simple exercises, you can start to control the overwhelm, calm down the mind, and begin to understand what's happening. Make sure you stay to the end, and I'm going to share with you 2 things that you can use this minute right now that will help you take back control. The definition of mindfuckery is it's a noun. In vulgar slang, it's the term used to describe mental confusion inflicted deliberately by another person. The action of someone acting in a way or doing an action with the intent of seriously disturbing another person. It's the mental confusion that happens in such a covert way that it distorts your reality, making you question your sanity and your memory. When the words used don't match the action, but he loves me, why would he do that? It's crazy making. Your intuition told you something was wrong, or you didn't believe the story that you were being told. They lied to you and you ended up questioning yourself, whilst they minimized your feelings. Long-term contact with a toxic or emotionally abusive person causes damage to the brain. There was so much happening in your head and it might go into overload. So to protect itself from further abuse, it actually shuts down. The hippocampus goes into hibernation. Your mind and your body sense it's in danger. They realize that they're being attacked and they shut down to protect you. You're left in a state of confusion. Mindfuckery is the collision of cognitive dissonance and gaslighting. Cognitive dissonance occurs when we experience a state of holding 2 or more contradictory thoughts or beliefs at the same time. And if you look up the definition, most people will quote the scenario of smoking, where people know it's bad for their health, but they do it anyway. They know they're inhaling toxins and other harmful substances, but the need overrides what they know. Another scenario might be a mother who abuses her child. We hold the belief that mothers nurture their children. So when you're faced with the facts of the damage that a mother has inflicted, either emotionally or physically on a child, it can be confusing. In a relationship, this can be the belief that your partner loves you, but you're experiencing conflict when their behaviour doesn't mirror their words. Your intuition might have made you feel something was wrong, or you didn't believe the story that they're telling you. They may have blame shifted and you questioned yourself, believing it was your fault. And they may have minimized your feelings. Or they might have tried to confuse you by saying, "But I told you this the other day." And then you recall a conversation and you have to go back over it, wondering if there's something wrong with your memory. This form of abuse penetrates on so many levels. Your brain was tricked to believe that what you were told was the truth. It will take time to de-traumatize. And this confusion or mindfuckery can go on a long time after the relationship is over. You were trained to override your gut, which was telling you when something felt off. And they may have blame shifted, saying that you have trust issues, and this is why that you're questioning them or their behaviour. They stop you in your tracks. You start to wonder if this is true, if this really is where it comes from. And this is now your fault. And if that works, they'll use it over and over again as a way of hiding their behavior. For people healing from a toxic relationship, this can cause them emotional confusion and anxiety. Cognitive dissonance is the reason people say they feel like they're going crazy, and it's a very specific kind of crazy. Eventually, you might have started to wonder what was happening and believed you couldn't trust your own judgment. When we experience any form of anxiety or go through a prolonged period of stress, our brains go into survival mode and we can't deal with any big decisions. We can barely look after ourselves. When bonds are formed, they are usually for protection. But in this type of relationship, they are formed through trauma. And you end up turning to the person who's abusing you for protection. Gaslighting takes place in all types of relationships. It's in romantic ones, it can take place in friendships, in family, in the workplace. Cognitive dissonance or gaslighting is a very unique experience for each individual, and only a person who's gone through this very specific form of abuse will understand what it's like and how deep the trauma runs. If you experience this form of abuse, it's important to surround yourself with people who do understand what you've been through. It penetrates on so many different levels, so many different layers. Your brain was tricked to believe that what you were told was the truth. And as I said, it takes time to de-traumatize. It's so easy to slip down that black dark hole when you're faced with new facts and new situations. Crazy making in relationships is a dynamic used to make you question yourself and leave you full of self-doubt and wondering if you're going crazy. It's a form of emotional abuse involving mind games. It erodes your confidence, slowly allowing another person to gain more power and control over you and the relationship. You end up questioning your sanity and find yourself becoming more emotional, needy, or dependent on another person. Mindfuckery is mental confusion inflicted deliberately by another person. There are two things that you can do straight away that will help you with what you're experiencing. You might have woken up to this behavior and discovered that there's no one left around you. You have no support network. So let me lend you my two best friends. They are breathing and grounding. I have two videos on this which will help you, and I'll put them in the description box below. By breathing and grounding, you can stay in your body, and being in your body will help you calm down your nervous system, which believes you're still living in a war zone. The first one is box breathing. It's where you breathe and count at the same time. What you're really doing is by counting whilst you're breathing, you're using a different part of your brain. You're taking your focus away from the memories that are coming up. And these are the memories that have rugby tackled you and winded you for that moment, taking you maybe to your knees or knocking you off your feet. And by doing this exercise, you're bringing the focus back into your body. You're able to see the abuse for abuse, and you're able to make sense. Your mind will be fighting. It was trained to run off and find memories of their good behavior each time they did something wrong. And that's what it's trying to do now. So you count and breathe at the same time. The breathing is calming down your system, and the counting, the crucial part, the counting, is taking the focus, taking your mind away from those memories, because you have to focus in a different point. So my favorite number is 6. So I will breathe in for 6 and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I then hold for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I breathe out for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I hold for 6. And you do this in the box. You breathe in, you hold, you breathe out, you hold, and you breathe it back in. And you count all the time. You pick your favorite number. Out of this relationship, you might be finding more information out that this wasn't normal behavior. And in fact, it's emotional abuse. But you were programmed not to look and to override your gut feeling. And this is why it hurts. You might discover something and off you go and search for a memory to prove that you are wrong. See, they did love me. We went on this trip, he bought me flowers, she bought me a car, and the list goes on. So you managed to get out of the war zone, but another battle is taking place and you need to get out of that safely. All the time, the hippocampus is curled up in a ball waiting for this to be over. And my second best friend is grounding. So throughout the day, ground yourself. So it could be going barefoot or visualizing roots coming out of the bottom of your feet into the earth. Grounding does the same thing. It takes you out of your mind, out of your memory center, and it brings you back into your body. You can start to see the behavior. You can start to see how awful it was. In the memory bank, you're searching for all those times that they were good and overriding the abuse. Also start to notice how long it takes you to calm down from the flashbacks, those spirals where your emotions spin out of control. They should reduce in length and eventually you'll notice that they last moments. And then one day you'll wake up and realise that you haven't had one for ages, but you don't know how long for. If you're interested in learning more ways to accelerate your healing and divorce emotionally from the abuser, I'll put the link to my self-care guide below in the description box. I'm also going to link 2 videos, the one for breathing and the other one for grounding, so that you can take the action now at the end of this video. I promise you these 2 very simple tools will really, really help you. And please remember, trust your intuition. Your gut is your second brain. Sending you loads and loads of love.